Disappointment is an unavoidable part of life. Whether it's unmet expectations or hurtful words, the actions of others can often provoke frustration, anger, or heartbreak. In those moments, the instinct to react feels almost irresistible. But ask yourself, does reacting in the heat of the moment ever bring true peace? Or does it only deepen the emotional wounds and drain your energy? Stoic philosophy offers a profound alternative. It reminds us that disappointment isn't about what others do, it's about how we interpret and respond to their actions. By choosing calm acceptance over emotional reaction, you shield your inner peace, maintain control over your emotions, and leave others baffled by your unshaken presence. This quiet strength, grounded in self-mastery, is the hallmark of the Stoic way. In today's video, we'll uncover 12 transformative Stoic lessons that will help you remain steady in the face of disappointment. You'll learn how to use acceptance as a tool for empowerment, not to give up, but to reclaim control of your mind and emotions. Stay with us until the end to discover how calmness can become your greatest source of strength. If this video resonates with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Victory Stoic for more life-changing insights. Share your story of how you've overcome disappointment in the comments, or simply affirm your journey by writing, "I choose calmness and self-mastery." Let's explore together how Stoic wisdom can transform the way we face life's challenges. Let's begin. Number 1. Reaction is chaos, acceptance is mastery. When someone disappoints you, the instinct is to react, be it through anger, frustration, or defense. But consider this, what if you were like a serene lake? When someone throws a stone into the water, ripples form, but the lake eventually returns to stillness. You are the same. Each time you react emotionally, you allow ripples to disturb your inner peace. True strength lies in mastering the art of returning to calmness, no matter how turbulent the moment. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Acceptance doesn't mean agreeing with the actions of others or tolerating bad behavior. Instead, it is a profound declaration that you refuse to let external circumstances dictate your happiness or disrupt your peace. Acceptance is not passive. It's an act of deliberate self-control. For example, imagine a colleague undermining your work during a meeting. Your first impulse might be to lash out or defend yourself in frustration. But instead, you take a deep breath, remind yourself of your value, and respond calmly when the time is right. Your acceptance of the moment, rather than an emotional reaction, signals confidence and authority, leaving your colleague unsettled and forcing them to reconsider their actions. This approach doesn't mean ignoring injustice or letting others mistreat you. Instead, it's about choosing how you engage. By accepting the situation and responding with clarity, you demonstrate mastery over yourself and inspire respect from others. Think of yourself as the unshaken lake, always capable of returning to calm, no matter the size of the stone thrown. Ultimately, the reaction is chaos. It pulls you into a storm of emotions, leaving you drained and distracted. Acceptance, on the other hand, is mastery. It allows you to rise above the noise, maintain your peace, and reclaim control over your emotional landscape. Each time you choose acceptance, you strengthen your ability to navigate life's disappointments with wisdom and grace. Number 2. Understand that disappointment is an inevitable part of life. Disappointment is woven into the fabric of human experience. No matter how carefully you plan or how much effort you invest, there will be moments when things don't go as expected, and people let you down. The key isn't in avoiding disappointment, but in accepting it as a natural part of life. This acceptance transforms disappointment from a source of frustration into an opportunity for growth and self-mastery. Imagine a sailor navigating through unpredictable waters. Despite their expertise, storms and rough seas are unavoidable. A seasoned sailor doesn't curse the waves or fight the wind. They adjust their sails and use the storm to sharpen their skills. Similarly, disappointment is life's way of testing your resilience and teaching you to navigate challenges with grace and composure. For example, think of a time when a close friend failed to meet your expectations. Perhaps they forgot an important date or didn't support you when you needed them. Instead of reacting with anger or resentment, pause and remind yourself that disappointment is a part of relationships. Use this moment to practice patience and empathy. By doing so, you not only preserve your peace, but also strengthen your ability to approach future disappointments with wisdom. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity or complacency. It's about seeing disappointment as a lesson rather than a setback. It's about understanding that life is not always within your control, but how you respond to its unpredictability is. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you embrace disappointment as inevitable, you shift your mindset from resistance to readiness. You learn to let go of the need for perfection and instead focus on how to grow stronger through life's storms. Just like the sailor who becomes better with every rough sea, you too can transform disappointment into a powerful tool for self-improvement and resilience. Number 3, distinguish between events and emotions. Disappointment, at its core, is a neutral event. It only becomes a source of pain or frustration when we attach negative emotions to it. Understanding the difference between what happens and how we feel about it is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy and a key to maintaining inner peace. Imagine you're stuck in traffic on the way to an important meeting. The event itself, being delayed, is neutral. It's neither good nor bad, it simply is. However, if you start thinking, "This is a disaster, I'm going to miss my chance and everyone will think I'm unreliable," the situation escalates emotionally. Suddenly, the neutral event becomes charged with anxiety, anger, and self-doubt, not because of the traffic, but because of the meaning you've attached to it. Now consider a different approach. Instead of spiraling into frustration, remind yourself, "I cannot control the traffic, but I can control how I respond to it." Use the time to gather your thoughts, plan your opening remarks, or even enjoy a moment of stillness before the meeting. By reframing your perspective, you separate the event from the emotional turmoil, preserving your peace and focus. This principle also applies to interpersonal disappointments. For instance, if a friend cancels plans last minute, the cancellation itself is a neutral event. You might initially feel let down, but attaching thoughts like, "They don't care about me," or "I'm not important to them," amplifies the negativity. Instead, you can choose to think, "They must have a valid reason. I'll use this time for something else I enjoy." This shift not only reduces emotional distress, but also allows you to approach the situation with understanding and flexibility. As Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment about it." By distinguishing between events and emotions, you reclaim your power to interpret situations in a way that supports your well-being. When you stop reacting emotionally to neutral events, you gain clarity and control. You learn that disappointment isn't inherently negative. It's your interpretation that shapes your experience. This realization allows you to navigate life with grace, turning challenges into opportunities for growth instead of sources of unnecessary suffering. Number 4, focus on what you can control. In life, much of what happens is beyond your control. The actions, words, and choices of others are not yours to dictate. However, there is one area where you hold complete authority: your response. When you shift your energy from trying to control external events to mastering your internal reactions, you unlock a profound sense of freedom and power. Imagine you're playing a sport and the referee makes an unfair call. You can't change their decision, no matter how much you argue or protest. What you can control is how you respond. You could spend the rest of the game stewing in anger, letting your performance suffer, or you could focus on what's within your power. Staying calm, playing to the best of your ability, and demonstrating grace under pressure. By choosing the latter, you maintain your composure and potentially turn the situation in your favor. This principle also applies to relationships. Suppose a colleague takes credit for your idea in a meeting. Your initial instinct might be to lash out or confront them publicly, but instead, you pause and consider what's within your control. You can calmly address the situation with your manager later, presenting your contributions with evidence. By focusing on what you can control, your professionalism and clarity, you preserve your integrity and avoid unnecessary conflict. Focusing on your response doesn't mean ignoring injustice or suppressing your feelings. It means channeling your energy into actions that align with your values and serve your goals. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This wisdom reminds us that true power lies in self-mastery, not in controlling others. To practice this mindset, start by identifying what's truly within your control in any challenging situation. If you're stuck in a disagreement, recognize that you can't force the other person to see things your way. But you can choose your tone, your words, and whether or not to continue the discussion. By focusing on these aspects, you not only protect your peace, but also strengthen your ability to navigate difficult moments with resilience. When you direct your attention to what you can control, you free yourself from the frustration of chasing the impossible. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the architect of your own experience. This shift is not just empowering, it's transformative, allowing you to face life's uncertainties with grace and confidence. Number 5. Use silence as your weapon. Silence is one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal. While words can be overused, misinterpreted, or wielded impulsively, silence conveys an unshakable message. It speaks volumes about your confidence, control, and wisdom. Instead of reacting emotionally or engaging in endless debates, silence allows you to stand firm, leaving others to confront their actions and assumptions. Imagine a heated argument where one person grows increasingly loud, trying to dominate the conversation, while the other remains calm and silent. The person shouting eventually falters, their energy dissipating as they realize their words are landing in a void. Silence in this context isn't avoidance. It's a demonstration of self-mastery. It shows that you value your peace more than the need to win the argument. Silence is particularly powerful when someone tries to provoke or manipulate you. For example, if a colleague makes a passive-aggressive comment in a meeting, your instinct might be to respond defensively or retaliate. But by choosing silence, perhaps paired with a calm, unflinching gaze, you shift the balance of power. Your lack of reaction forces them to sit with their words, making them question their behavior instead of escalating the situation. Silence also has the power to amplify your voice when you do choose to speak. If you're in a negotiation, pausing after making a point creates space for others to process your words and compels them to respond thoughtfully. For instance, after stating your expectations for a project deadline, a deliberate pause signals that you're confident in your position, leaving no room for ambiguity or unnecessary compromise. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Silence is a lesson in itself." The Stoics understood that silence is not passivity, but a way to maintain control over your emotions and the situation. By refraining from impulsive reactions, you protect your energy and prevent others from gaining power over you. Using silence doesn't mean you avoid addressing important issues. It means you choose when and how to engage. It's about pausing, reflecting, and ensuring your words are intentional and meaningful. Silence allows you to command respect, maintain composure, and demonstrate strength in a world that often mistakes noise for authority. When you wield silence wisely, you shift the dynamics of any situation. It disarms aggression, invites reflection, and communicates confidence that doesn't rely on validation from others. Silence, when used as a weapon, isn't just the absence of sound, it's the presence of power. Number 6. The benefits of acceptance. Freedom from emotional chains. Acceptance is not a weakness. It is the ultimate strength that liberates you from the chains of emotional entanglement. When you choose to accept rather than react, you send a powerful message. You are confident, self-assured, and unshaken by the need for external validation. This quiet composure often leaves others surprised and introspective, forcing them to reconsider their actions. Acceptance does not mean tolerating disrespect or condoning harmful behavior. Instead, it's about recognizing your boundaries and choosing to focus your energy on what truly matters. For example, if someone criticizes you unfairly, reacting defensively only fuels the negativity. By accepting the situation without retaliation, you maintain your dignity and prevent their words from dictating your emotions. Imagine someone intentionally trying to provoke you, perhaps a friend or colleague who has made a habit of pushing your buttons. In the past, you may have responded with anger or frustration, giving them the satisfaction of knowing they've disrupted your peace. But when you practice acceptance, you respond with calm indifference. Instead of rising to their bait, you simply acknowledge their words or actions with a neutral, steady demeanor. This shift in your behavior not only disarms them, but also demonstrates that their tactics no longer have power over you. Acceptance is also a transformative act for yourself. When you let go of the need to control how others behave or how situations unfold, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and disappointment. You begin to focus on what aligns with your values and priorities. Over time, others will notice your unshakable presence. They'll realize that the person who once reacted impulsively has grown into someone who commands respect and exudes self-confidence. As Epictetus wisely noted, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. By practicing acceptance, you master this principle. You no longer waste energy fighting battles you cannot win or trying to change things beyond your control. Instead, you channel your focus into areas where your actions can create a meaningful impact. When you embrace acceptance, you build healthier relationships, not just with others, but most importantly, with yourself. You no longer let the actions or opinions of others dictate your mood or self-worth. This newfound freedom allows you to prioritize your inner peace, growth, and authenticity, creating a life grounded in clarity and purpose. Acceptance, far from being passive, is a dynamic force that elevates you above the chaos and strengthens your foundation of self-respect. Number 7, the power of detachment and self-focus. Detachment is not about indifference. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of unrealistic expectations and the constant need for validation. When you practice acceptance, you cultivate the ability to detach from what others think or do and shift your focus inward, to your values, your growth, and your self-worth. This practice not only builds inner strength, but also creates an undeniable magnetism. Imagine being in a situation where you're constantly seeking recognition, working tirelessly for approval from a boss who rarely acknowledges your efforts, or striving to win the attention of someone who takes your presence for granted. This pursuit leaves you feeling drained and unappreciated. But when you detach, you redirect your energy inward. Instead of chasing validation, you focus on excelling for your fulfillment. You learn to appreciate your accomplishments without relying on external applause. This shift has a transformative impact. When you stop chasing others, you become the one they notice. Detachment communicates self-confidence and independence, qualities that naturally attract opportunities and people who align with your energy. For example, in a friendship where you've been the one constantly reaching out, stepping back and focusing on your life creates space. The other person may begin to realize your value and reciprocate. If they don't, you've saved your energy for relationships that truly matter. Detachment also strengthens your sense of self. By no longer hinging your happiness on external validation, you cultivate an inner stability that is unshakable. You start to set boundaries, say no when necessary, and prioritize your well-being. This self-respect creates a ripple effect. Others begin to see you as someone who values their time and energy, prompting them to treat you with the respect you deserve. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care deeply about what is within your control, your thoughts, actions, and values, while releasing what is beyond it. The beauty of detachment is that it allows you to focus on becoming the best version of yourself. When you're no longer tethered to the need for approval, you channel your energy into meaningful pursuits and authentic connections. The right people and opportunities naturally gravitate toward you, not because you chase them, but because your self-assured presence draws them in. By embracing detachment, you reclaim your power. You stop running after fleeting validation and instead build a life rooted in confidence, purpose, and peace. This is the ultimate freedom, the ability to value yourself so deeply that everything else falls effortlessly into place. Number 8, acceptance over argument. Arguing is often a reflex, a way to defend your position, prove your worth, or express frustration. But what if you chose acceptance instead? The calm act of accepting a situation or someone's behavior without being drawn into a conflict is a powerful statement. It disarms those who seek to provoke you, leaving them surprised and confused when their attempts to ignite drama fail. Imagine someone criticizing you in public, hoping to humiliate or undermine you. Your natural reaction might be to argue back, defend yourself, or prove them wrong. But instead, you pause, smile faintly, and respond with calm acceptance. You may be right. This simple, unexpected response deprives them of the satisfaction of seeing you upset. It leaves them questioning their behavior, while highlighting your composure and confidence. Choosing acceptance doesn't mean tolerating disrespect or allowing others to take advantage of you. It means acknowledging that not every situation requires your energy. For instance, if a coworker consistently interrupts you in meetings to assert dominance, rather than engaging in a verbal battle, you could calmly wait for them to finish, then continue speaking with clarity and authority. Your refusal to react emotionally demonstrates strength, forcing others to see that their provocations hold no power over you. The key to acceptance lies in detachment. By focusing on your values and maintaining inner peace, you rise above petty conflicts. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you always own the option of having no opinion. There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you cannot control. This doesn't mean you avoid important discussions or ignore issues that matter. Instead, you choose your battles wisely and refuse to let minor provocations disrupt your equilibrium. Acceptance allows you to conserve your energy for actions that align with your goals and values, rather than wasting it on arguments that lead nowhere. When you accept instead of arguing, you break the cycle of conflict and elevate yourself above the situation. This disarms those who seek to control or provoke you, leaving them to grapple with their frustrations. More importantly, it reinforces your ability to stay calm, focused, and true to yourself. Acceptance isn't about surrender. It's about choosing peace and strength over chaos and noise. It's a statement that says, I will not be dragged into negativity because my peace is worth more than proving a point. Number 9. Let go of unrealistic expectations and embrace life's impermanence. Unrealistic expectations are the seeds of disappointment. When you hold on to rigid ideals, whether about relationships, success, or life's outcomes, you set yourself up for frustration when reality doesn't align. True freedom comes from releasing these expectations and accepting the impermanence and unpredictability of life. By doing so, you not only reduce disappointment, but also open yourself to a life of flexibility, gratitude, and growth. Imagine expecting a friend to always prioritize your needs. When they fail to meet this ideal, you feel hurt and let down. But consider this: was the disappointment caused by their behavior or by your expectation of how they should behave? By letting go of the need for others to meet your every expectation, you make space for acceptance and understanding. You recognize that people are imperfect, just as you are, and that relationships are about mutual respect, not rigid demands. Embracing impermanence also helps you adjust to life's changing nature. For instance, you might have set a goal to achieve a promotion by a certain age, only to see circumstances shift or opportunities delayed. Instead of clinging to the timeline you've created, accept that life often moves at its own pace. Releasing control over the when allows you to focus on the how, the steps you can take to move forward with resilience and adaptability. This mindset isn't about lowering your standards or giving up on ambition. It's about balancing aspiration with realism. As Epictetus said, "Seek not for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do, and you will have peace." By aligning your expectations with reality, you free yourself from the mental weight of constant frustration. A practical way to let go of unrealistic expectations is to practice gratitude. Instead of fixating on what hasn't gone according to plan, focus on the lessons and opportunities that emerge from imperfection. For example, if a long-awaited vacation gets canceled, shift your energy to appreciating the time you now have to rest, explore a local experience, or reconnect with loved ones. By embracing impermanence, you learn to find joy in the journey rather than clinging to specific outcomes. This perspective allows you to approach life with curiosity and flexibility, unburdened by the need for everything to go perfectly. It teaches you that beauty lies in change, growth, and the unexpected twists that make life rich and meaningful. Letting go of unrealistic expectations isn't a sign of resignation. It's an act of courage and wisdom. It's the willingness to meet life where it is, to adapt with grace, and to find contentment in the present moment. Through this practice, you reclaim your peace and build a life rooted in resilience and authenticity. Number 10. Forgive, not for them, but for yourself. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as a gift to others, but in truth, it is a profound act of self-liberation. By forgiving, you release the negative emotions that tie you to the pain someone caused. Forgiveness is not about condoning their actions or letting them escape accountability. It's about reclaiming your peace and freeing yourself from the weight of resentment. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with anger, hurt, and bitterness. Each time you revisit a past wrong, it's as if you're adding another stone to that burden. Over time, this emotional load drains your energy, clouds your thoughts, and prevents you from moving forward. Forgiveness is the act of setting down the backpack. It doesn't erase the past, but allows you to walk forward unencumbered. For example, let's say a colleague betrayed your trust by taking credit for your work. The betrayal stings, and it's natural to feel angry. But holding on to that anger only prolongs your suffering, while the other person moves on unaffected. By forgiving, you don't excuse their actions, you acknowledge them, learn from the experience, and release the negative emotions tied to it. This doesn't mean you forget or rebuild trust blindly. It means you choose to prioritize your inner peace over lingering resentment. Forgiveness also protects your mental and physical health. Studies have shown that harboring grudges increases stress levels, negatively impacting your well-being. Letting go through forgiveness fosters a sense of calm and balance, allowing you to focus on what truly matters, your growth and happiness. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Forgiving ensures you don't mirror their actions or let them dictate your emotional state. A practical way to practice forgiveness is through reflection. Write down what hurt you, acknowledge the emotions you feel, and then consciously let them go. This act of acknowledgement and release is powerful, as it shifts your focus from the harm caused to the healing you deserve. Forgiveness isn't a weakness, it's an act of strength. It's a choice to prioritize your well-being over the pain of the past. When you forgive, you take back control of your life, refusing to let anger or bitterness define your journey. By doing so, you create space for peace, clarity, and the freedom to move forward with an open heart and mind. Remember, forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. It's a declaration that your inner peace is more valuable than the hurt they caused. Through forgiveness, you transform pain into power and choose freedom over emotional captivity. Number 11. Accept to rise above revenge. Revenge often feels like a natural response to being wrong, a way to reclaim power and make the other person pay. But in reality, revenge ties you to the very harm you're trying to escape. It doesn't make you stronger, it consumes your time, energy, and peace. Acceptance, on the other hand, allows you to rise above the urge for retaliation, preserving your dignity and freeing you from the cycle of negativity. Imagine someone spreads false rumors about you at work, tarnishing your reputation. The temptation to retaliate, to expose their flaws or fight fire with fire, is strong. But by choosing acceptance instead, you refuse to sink to their level. You focus on maintaining your integrity and excelling in your work. Over time, your actions speak louder than their words, while their toxicity becomes self-evident. You've not only protected your peace, but also upheld your values. Revenge often keeps you emotionally tethered to the wrongdoer. Every action you take in retaliation is another moment spent in their shadow, letting their actions dictate your life. Marcus Aurelius said it best, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." By refusing to seek revenge, you demonstrate strength, self-control, and a commitment to your path, qualities that truly define success. Acceptance doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior or avoiding accountability. Instead, it's about recognizing that revenge prolongs the pain, while acceptance helps you move forward. Consider a personal relationship where betrayal occurs. Plotting revenge may give momentary satisfaction, but it also deepens your connection to the hurt. By accepting what happened, setting boundaries, and focusing on your healing, you reclaim your power and shift your energy toward growth. A practical way to avoid the trap of revenge is to ask yourself, will this action bring me peace or prolong the pain? Most often, the answer will guide you toward acceptance. Channel your energy into pursuits that build you up, investing in your passions, strengthening your relationships, or pursuing new opportunities. By focusing on your growth, you not only heal but also rise above the negativity. Choosing not to seek revenge is not about letting others win. It's about ensuring you don't lose yourself in the process. Acceptance allows you to respond with grace and maintain control over your emotional state. You show that their actions cannot define you, and your values remain intact. Revenge keeps you locked in the past, but acceptance propels you forward. By choosing peace over retaliation, you affirm that your time, energy, and happiness are far more valuable than any fleeting satisfaction revenge might bring. This is how you truly rise above. Number 12, see disappointment as a test, and remember who truly matters. Disappointment, though unpleasant, is a hidden test of your character and self-mastery. Each time someone lets you down, you are presented with an opportunity to choose. Will you let their actions dictate your emotions, or will you use the experience to grow stronger? By shifting your perspective, disappointment becomes less about them and more about you, about your resilience, your priorities, and your ability to remain grounded. Imagine a friend cancels plans at the last minute, leaving you frustrated. The immediate reaction might be to dwell on their unreliability, questioning why they didn't value your time. But instead, you pause and ask yourself, does this moment define me, or does it define them? When you view the disappointment as a test of your patience and self-worth, you realize the situation isn't about them being more important. It's about you recognizing that your peace matters most. When you give disappointment too much weight, you unintentionally place the person who caused it on a pedestal. Their actions begin to take up space in your mind, making them seem more significant than they deserve. But when you view disappointment as a test, the focus shifts back to you. This isn't about minimizing their behavior. It's about maximizing your ability to rise above it. For example, if a colleague criticizes your work unfairly, the disappointment might tempt you to retaliate or brood over their comments. Instead, see this as an opportunity to strengthen your emotional control. Acknowledge their critique without letting it undermine your confidence. Remind yourself, their opinion does not define my value. My response does. This mindset not only reinforces your self-esteem, but also sends a message that you won't be rattled by external negativity. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. When you place too much importance on others' actions, you allow their behavior to control your emotional state. By reframing disappointment as a test, you remind yourself that you are the one who truly matters. Their actions are fleeting, but your response shapes your character. The next time you feel disappointed, pause and ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? Treat the moment as a challenge to deepen your self-control and prioritize your well-being. You'll find that the weight of disappointment lifts, replaced by the clarity that comes from focusing on what truly matters: your peace, growth, and resilience. Disappointment doesn't define you. How you handle it does. By treating it as a test rather than a burden, you reclaim your power and reaffirm your place as the most important person in your story. Conclusion: disappointment is inevitable, but your response to it defines your character. Instead of reacting emotionally, choosing calm acceptance empowers you to maintain your inner peace. This quiet strength not only shields you from unnecessary distress, but also leaves others surprised by your unwavering composure. Acceptance is not surrender. It is mastery over your emotions and a declaration that your happiness is rooted in your control, not external events. By applying these lessons, you gain the tools to stay centered and resilient, turning disappointment into an opportunity for growth. You build relationships based on mutual respect and create a life aligned with your values. Each moment of calm acceptance strengthens your ability to navigate life's challenges with grace and clarity. If this video resonated with you, take a moment to reflect and act. Like, share, and subscribe to Victory Stoic for more transformative insights. We'd love to hear your story. How have you handled disappointment with calm acceptance? Share your experience in the comments, or simply affirm your journey with the words, "I choose calmness and acceptance." Let's inspire each other to embrace the Stoic way of life.